Welcome back, combat fans, to another episode of Face Yourself. In this episode, we're going to be going over Smoke. And basically, how the series goes, if you're new here, each week we take a dive into a character for the upcoming Mortal Kombat 1 game. So if you're a fan of the character lore, then this is the video for you. But without further ado, we'll just jump straight into the video.
Smoke. Choose. You will never.
Okay, so let's kick off this video by checking out all the different looks Smoke has had over the years. Starting with Mortal Kombat 2 as a secret character up till Mortal Kombat 1 in the new era. Starting off with his Mortal Kombat 2 appearance. He was basically a gray power swap Scorpion, but he actually had a name, and unlike Reptile in Mortal Kombat, he also had all his Scorpion's special moves. And one key thing about this secret character was that Smoke actually had like smoke coming out of his body, which I think was a really good aspect, because then that kind of like really differentiated him from Scorpion outside of just the power swap. But in this variation, he wears mostly black outside of his gray vest, his gray belt, gray gauntlets, gray shin guards, blah blah blah, etc etc. That's everything's power swap, so like that's why I just like kind of want to get through that, because like honestly, like the only thing that was really different about the costume was I feel like the gray smoke emanating from Smoke's body, which was a really cool aspect. I just want to say that again. But moving on to Mortal Kombat 3. Depending on which one you played, whether it's a trilogy or if it was Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. So in the original Mortal Kombat 3 trilogy, there was only Cyber Smoke. This is the first time we were introduced to the Cyber Ninjas, almost completely robotic. All of the bluish armor pieces were completely made of metal, and his helmet was also made of metal. Obviously, it hides the disfigured head of the Samurai Smoke. I remember seeing the Cyber Ninjas for the first time and just immediately loving them, especially Sector. The teleporting through the ground for the teleport uppercut was just awesome. Like to me, it was just the most like amazing thing, because I was like, oh, we actually get like Cyber Ninjas and they look cool, and the way they did their moves were so different from like what we had seen in the past. But honestly, Smoke was like, I like Smoke a lot too, but my favorite was Sector, if I'm being honest. Smoke was originally a secret character along with Jade in Mortal Kombat 2. Smoke, so they had to give him a story for the new game, because like obviously Smoke didn't have a story because Mortal Kombat, he was a Mortal Kombat 2 character, a secret character, so they had to make up a story for this game. And just a little snippet here: Smoke accompanied the new Sub-Zero to Outworld on an unsuccessful mission to assassinate Shang Tsung. However, they had returned to Earthrealm. When they returned to Earthrealm, they found that the Lin Kuei had been almost completely converted into cyborgs. Smoke and Sub-Zero abandoned the Lin Kuei, but Smoke was captured and forcibly converted into a cyborg. I'm getting a little off topic here, but I just wanted to basically briefly just talk about like his little story for Mortal Kombat 3, because I thought it was like a very interesting. But anyways, like we wouldn't see Smoke again till Deception in the form of a tag team with Noob Saibot. Smoke's new design sees him completely upgraded, now fully cyberized. We see many different cybernetic pieces throughout the costume in this version of Smoke. He still has like a bluish like black look to him within the metal parts of the outfit. Well, like, I won't say the metal parts of the outfit, like the actual like, well, technically the whole suit is like metal, so like they had certain parts that were bluish, that had like a bluish black look to it, while others had like a grayish silver color. And the visors for his eyes were completely red. Like, it was kind of cool. And then I like the fact that they had the course protruding out of his head connect with some kind of container in his back. I assume this had something to do with how he breathes. But they also have some kind of tubes coming out of his arms. I'm guessing this is to like help him cool down when he's using his cybernetic enhancements in combat. But anyways, like moving on to Mortal Kombat Armageddon, this one they just used the alternate version of the skin for Smoke. In Armageddon, Smoke seems to use a lot less cybernetics. It looks like they drew inspiration from his Mortal Kombat 2 to Mortal Kombat Deception look, obviously. Like, they use that inspiration to create the one where he's like, you just see smoke instead of flesh. He only wears half his helmet, just the mask part though. The V vest makes a comeback now with a few different colors throughout the costume. using red, black, and gray design. He doesn't have flesh or like, I mean, I'm sure he has cybernetics inside the smoke, but you can't see him. Instead, like, his body is like completely made of smoke, leading me to believe that at this point we didn't know what it was called, but I feel like after playing Mortal Kombat 9, like, this is when smoke was completely like an Enenra. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like that is like the closest example to what an Enenra would look like in all of the Mortal Kombat games. Honestly, the costume itself is kind of plain, outside of the knee pads and the gauntlets that look somewhat mechanical. Honestly, I won't lie, I like the original Deception outfit because I like the way that the fully cyberized Smoke looked. But that's just like my personal opinion. We would later see Smoke make a comeback in Mortal Kombat 9. Smoke now has long gray hair. His mask has a cool redesign, but other than that, most of the design was kind of like a generic ninja. He just looks like a regular ninja, which, if I'm being honest, there's nothing wrong with it. I just wish he had smoke all around his body like the Mortal Kombat 2 and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 designs. Like, that would have looked cool. Like, actually, now I'm thinking about it, yeah, like, no, like I would like the same exact thing like Mortal Kombat 2 and Mortal Kombat Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Like, I like that because that's what made Smoke really cool. But anyways, his gauntlets and his knee high boots were, well, I guess they're just boots. I don't know why I said high boots. Were cool looking. They kept color design very basic, just black and silver over all of it. It was okay, but I felt like it could have been a lot better. But anyways, let's talk about Mortal Kombat 1 Smoke costume. Honestly, he looks like a palette swap of Scorpion and Sub-Zero. I'm not gonna lie, like, all their skins look very similar. Outside of like one or two features, like, okay, so with Smokey has some kind of armband on his left arm, and the gauntlets were a little bit different. There was some kind of black sleeves underneath where the gauntlets were. It kind of reminds me of, like, I don't know if you guys like ever worked at McDonald's before, but like the tattoo sleeves that they use to cover like the tattoos. So like it kind of reminds me of what that looked like when I saw the design originally. But I don't know, I think I'm still on the fence about the mask. Like, I don't know how I feel about it, if I like it or if I hate it. Like, if I'm being honest, like, I think I like the fact that he has a new mask that looks kind of like a gas mask. But then I look at it again and I'm just like, is it kind of cringe? Like, because like Smoke was supposedly born with the powers, like in the previous timeline, but in this timeline he used, well, after he was sacrificed, he was reborn with the powers. So let's get that straight. But this time, like, he uses magic. I don't know, I just think it's a little weird, but like that generally covers the appearances of Smoke. Smoke doesn't have a whole lot of appearances because, like, you know, he wasn't in a lot of the Mortal Kombat games. But I think, like, if I try to pinpoint my favorite costume, it's probably the Deception one when he's fully cyberized. I think that's probably my favorite skin for Smoke. But anyways, guys, that's gonna cover it for the appearance part of this episode. Okay, so moving on, let's get into the special moves. So luckily we have the Combat Cast 2 to really dive into his new abilities. And before we jump any further into this part, I just wanted to say, like, I was waiting because, like, I didn't want to just keep making like this section to be something based on what I see, instead of like having like a combat cast or some kind of like footage to show what exactly his special moves were. Because, like, I feel like it's a lot better when you can see the moves being performed, and like that's why I I was waiting for this to come out. And it's kind of another reason why I chose to do Smoke. We now have Ashura and we have Garrus's, so one of those two are probably gonna be the next episode as well. Maybe we'll do Ashura because, like, honestly, I'm a big fan of Ashura. Ashura's one of my favorite characters. But anyways, that's off topic. I just wanted to just like talk about why I decided to like use Smoke instead of like going to one of the other confirmed characters for Mortal Kombat. So going to his special moves, he has a new special move where it's like an anti-air. It yanks you forward a bit while you're on the ground. So basically, when someone I guess like does a jump, he throws the dagger up and it grabs them and it pulls them slightly closer to you. But if you enhance it, it pulls you directly towards Smoke, which I think is hilarious because the way the movement is done during that part, I think is just super funny. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was laughing super hard when I first saw this. So okay, but moving on to the next ability, right? The next ability, I don't know, like, it might make you feel like a certain way about this because of his new smoke bomb. Like, I don't know how I feel about it, because like the old smoke bomb used to teleport the enemy in the air, and like you would be able to combo off it, right? So with the new ability, now instead of teleporting the enemy, you teleport yourself overhead, right? And then when you do that, like it becomes the overhead, right? But if you enhance it, then it becomes an overhead. I don't think it becomes an overhead. I think it becomes a you turn invisible, right? You turn invisible. But I totally don't see that being busted at all. Like shit, like you think you have to worry about not only a freaking overhead, or they could turn invisible. And dude, it's just super busted. But like I just don't think it's okay that I feel like already just by this ability he's gonna be busted enough, like, you know what I mean? And I'm just gonna stop with that right there. But anyway, like that move, it just seems busted. Like if the mind game Smoke's gonna be able to play, it's crazy. But anyways, moving on to his new teleport, it's a low starter, right? Teleport, low starter, nope, not busted, nope. So this low starter, if you get it becomes a combo starter if you enhance it too. So like you'll do a low hit and enhance it, and then like you can start off on an air combo, which is just nuts. Like I don't know what they're thinking with that, because that doesn't seem like it's gonna be busted at all, especially with the cameos. If you time it the right way, you can get some really good combo damage on that, you know what I mean? Like that's gonna be crazy to see how the pros and all the new Smoke players are gonna use that. And if that wasn't enough for you, especially if you're like playing with the mind games with your playing mind games with your opponent, you can EX cancel it to go invisible. Yep, another way to become invisible. It's crazy, dude. Like Smoke's, honestly, I'm getting the feeling that Smoke's gonna be the new Fujin of Mortal Kombat 1, but who knows? Like I just seeing the little things we saw during the combat cast, he just seems super OP. I'm not gonna lie. The phase port is back as well. You can see, and you can go through projectiles like you did before, and you can stop it short for mix-ups. And I believe you could I think you could EX cancel it to become invisible as well. So like I think there's like 3 different ways to go invisible with Smoke, which I think is a little bit nuts, especially like the fact that you don't have to drop on somebody to go invisible, but you can EX cancel your teleport or the phase port to become invisible. This is super crazy. Like I don't know what they were thinking. Like were they trying to make the most busted character in Mortal Kombat be Smoke? Like it kind of felt that way. But anyways, in summary, I'm not gonna lie, like he just seems super busted. I can see some insanely high moments, especially like in tournaments. I can't wait to see how ridiculous he can be when the game finally releases and everyone can get their hands on him. Okay, so like in every chapter we've had the last couple of videos, I think it's important to cover like a specific unique thing about each character. And with this one, I felt like it's important to understand like who was Smoke in this game, because they haven't called him Thomas or anything, they just called him Smoke. So this leads me to believe that maybe Smoke's identity might be different in this game. So we might not be Thomas Verbata, because like his backstory from Mortal Kombat 9 to Mortal Kombat 1 is completely different. Like in the Mortal Kombat 9 version, I believe he was kidnapped and then sacrificed in the cult to become Smoke. And this one, like he was, his parents were killed on a honey trip, which kind of similar to Scorpion's story with the family dying. But you know, we'll get into that. So anyways, watching Scorpion interact with Smoke in the Lin Kuei trailer.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Whatever it takes, I am with you.
We may not share blood, but we are brothers.
It's giving me some serious Scorpion and Sub-Zero vibes from Mortal Kombat 11. Especially if you look at the MK1 bio, the story is very similar to Hanzo's story, with some minor differences. As a boy, Smoke lived to hunt with his family. Their final hunt, however, ended in tragedy. Having accidentally trespassed onto Lin Kuei lands, they were attacked and Smoke was orphaned. This is similar to what happened to Scorpion's family when they were killed by Quan Chi disguised as Sub-Zero, along with the Lin Kuei who were being tricked by Quan Chi. Then there's this part. He lacked any special powers like Scorpion and Sub-Zero, so he learned practical magic to help defend the Earth realm. Again, Scorpion didn't have any abilities before he died. He was just a regular human being who just understood what the Lin Kuei's abilities, because, you know, obviously Shiryu split it from the Lin Kuei, so he had similar like practices that they had. So he was just like a ninja practicing that. So he didn't have any special abilities, is what I mean. But now, if you look at the ending of Mortal Kombat 9, after defeating Shao Kahn, Smoke remembers how he was sacrificed and came back as a smoke demon, the Enenra.
Shao Kahn's violent death shook the very core of Smoke's being and dislodged his earliest memories. Tomas Rabada was only a boy when he was abducted by an obscure cult and sacrificed to a demon. Burned alive, he returned to the mortal realm as an Enenra, a creature of smoke and vapor.
But he was abducted. His parents weren't killed from that ending, so I don't think Thomas is this version of Smoke. And given the relationship with Hanzo, it wouldn't be super surprising if Hanzo was Smoke, especially if you consider that Kwai is Scorpion. And this would be a way for Hanzo and Kuai Liang to continue their bromance going into the new era. And I want honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I want my boy Hanzo in the new era. Honestly, I want the Shirai Ryu to be around in the new era, but if they're not yet, like he could be Smoke. I think it's okay. I think it makes sense because Thomas wasn't like super expanded upon. It was only like one game where they talked about Thomas Rabada, so you can easily just kind of switch them out because it's not really a huge story for Smoke. And Smoke's always been like a copy of Scorpion anyway, so it would make sense for Hanzo to become Smoke. Like if you're looking at that in the new era, if we're changing backstories and stuff like that. But like if that's not the case and Smoke is just a regular person inside of the new Shirai Ryu, that would be dope as well. Like maybe he's just a regular human being still alive with Harumi and Satoshi. If I'm being honest, like Smoke fights a lot like Hanzo from Mortal Kombat 11. Scorpion's mix-ups. Well, he was the mix-up king in Mortal Kombat 11, and if Hanzo ends up being Smoke, I'll be completely happy. And like I just want to touch up a little bit more on that. Like Smoke, the way he's so mix-up heavy and like the different ways he fights now, like it honestly, like this is just my opinion, but I think he fights very similar to how Scorpion fought in Mortal Kombat 11 with the different mix-ups, the overheads, the teleporting, the different types of teleports he could do. Like it could make a lot of sense for him to be for Hanzo to be the new Smoke. But that's just my my touch on it. Like I've seen a lot of videos where people were talking about the whole there's smoke, there's fire. They're trying to say that, oh, that's got to be Hanzo. Like, but that has nothing to do with Hanzo. Like Smoke has always said that since Mortal Kombat 9. He's always said it. Like you can look back and see that, oh, well, he was saying that before we even knew about this new timeline, before timelines even existed. Like this, we only knew about the soft reset for Smoke for the Mortal Kombat 9 universe. So like them people making like a connection with that, that just doesn't make sense. That's why I didn't really put it in this, because like knowing the Mortal Kombat 9's intro for Smoke, he always said that where there's smoke there's fire. It has no connection to Scorpion at all, but I just thought I'd throw that in there. Okay guys, so moving on to the final section in this chapter. So Smoke was technically in Mortal Kombat 2. He was actually a secret character, so we know he's not gonna have a bio. But in Mortal Kombat 3, where he makes his first roster spot, he comes in as a cyber ninja along with Sector and Cyrax. Unit LK-TT2, aka Smoke, is the third prototype. He had tried to escape from the cyber automation process with Sub-Zero, but he was captured and his memories were stripped away, leaving behind an emotionless killer. Sub-Zero still believes that Smoke is still alive somewhere within the machine. If you guys want to see how it happened, Defenders of the Realm does a good job showing how Smoke sacrificed himself to let Sub-Zero escape. I would show it, but the last time I tried to show like anything like that was like animated for Mortal Kombat, I kind of got like a copyright I won't say a strike, like it was just like, okay, it's a copyright, so it won't go to certain countries. So I'll probably put a link in the video in the video's description so you guys could check it out if you guys want to. But anyways, in the ultimate version of Mortal Kombat 3, we got a human Smoke bio. He was a lethal assassin, but when the Lin Kuei decided to cyberize, he tried to escape but was ultimately caught. He actually the only reason he was caught was because he wanted to give Sub-Zero a chance to escape. His human form would then be a memory of the distant past. But then we get his ending, which isn't canon, but he becomes a human again and decides to learn the fighting styles of Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Reptile. He vanished once again once he had learned everything he needed. So we get a bio in Mortal Kombat Deception. At some point, Smoke became disabled. Maybe this happened when Kuai Liang destroyed the sector and he was disabled, similar to like what happened in the Mortal Kombat 11 story when Frost and her new Cyber Lin Kuei were defeated. So like I don't know if you guys remember the scene, but once Raiden does like that electricity short circuit, what's her name, Frost, all the cyber soldiers, they just went offline.
She commands them, not Sector. If so, she is linked to them. They follow her thoughts.
Then let them follow her to defeat. Candy-ass bitch.
But anyways, Noob Saibot finds and reactivates Smoke and reprograms him to obey Noob Saibot. Smoke didn't have a bio so in a Mortal Kombat Armageddon, so we're gonna skip that game. But his ending was super bad. Like, oh my god, like I don't know what they were thinking with Smoke's ending. Smoke's ending in Mortal Kombat Armageddon might have been the worst ending in the entire game.
Smoke's power lies in his nanobot technology. Microscopic machines course through his veins, constantly repairing and altering his being. But when infused with the power of Blaze, his nanobots took on a life of their own. Multiplying at an exponential rate, they were soon numerous enough to consume Edenia, transforming the entire realm into a mass of sentient gray material that calls itself Smoke.
But anyways, he finally makes a return to Mortal Kombat 9, where we finally learn his name. In Mortal Kombat 9, Thomas Vibrata, I think I said it the right way. If I don't, guys, correct me in the comments and just let me know how you guys say his name. But anyways, he was already an adult when the Lin Kuei recruited him. Like, they were fascinated by his ability to evade capture. He thought, and he also thought by joining the Lin Kuei, he might find a lead to discovering his past and basically finding out how he came to be and how he came to be with his powers. We don't see Smoke again in the main roster until Mortal Kombat 1, so he sat out in Mortal Kombat X and Mortal Kombat 11. He technically was in Mortal Kombat X, but like, you know, it was just his Mortal Kombat 9 skin and he was a Revenant, so there's not much to go on with that. But like, I'll be honest here, I feel like Smoke's been dealt a bad hand throughout the entire Mortal Kombat history of Smoke. Like, he was cyberized, and then he was human again, and then he was gonna get cyberized again, but this time Sub-Zero was the one that got cyberized instead of Smoke, which honestly I think it's kind of cool, because I think everybody wanted to see Sub-Zero get cyberized to see what his abilities would be like. I just think it's crazy. So, but anyways, Smoke is a fan favorite character, and rightfully so. His Smoke abilities have always been awesome, so I can see why everyone is hyped for the newest version of Smoke. I'm sure some people have some mixed feelings about Smoke and this iteration of him. I've been a huge Smoke fan, but I've always loved the aggressive characters like Smoke. So seeing how he plays in Mortal Kombat 1, bro, like Mortal Kombat, I like Smoke, but like I wasn't like a huge Smoke fan. But in this one, he fights. I like the way he fights. He's very aggressive. He has ways to get around spammers and projectiles, like zoners and all that stuff. He has like so many different tools. And then with the cameo system, being able to like have a Sub-Zero version of a cameo that can make it so you don't get hit by prime projectiles just makes him that much more that much better of a character, especially when you can do it while you're invisible. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, that's gonna be such a pain in the ass to deal with Smoke, but you know, I think it's good. I think they'll probably do something about that eventually if it becomes too busted, like they kind of did with Sonya when they took away her bounce mechanic when she was with her combos. honestly, I hated that change, and like it's kind of a big reason why I had like moved off Sonya as a character, because like I feel like the nerf was just like they nerfed her into the ground. It was crazy. But let me know what's you guys' opinion on Smoke. Do you like his new design? What about his new special moves? And what are your thoughts about the possibility of him being Hanzo? But anyways, I just wanted to give you guys my personal opinion on Smoke. This is probably gonna be a shorter episode than normal, but just because like Smoke is like kind of been in and out of the Mortal Kombat games, he's not like a mainstay like a Reptile or Liu Kang or Kung Lao. So I try to just get the best amount of information I could about Smoke, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Face Yourself. And remember guys, friendships over brutalities, don't be a jerk, and I'll see you guys in the next video, and I'm out. Peace.